And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting for the Mustangs. At guard, 5'6" junior, number 4, Shadaria Smith. At guard, 5'8" sophomore, number 22, Shania McCarthy. At forward, 5'8" senior, number 42, Erica Simmons. At guard, 5'5" senior, number 12, Briera Williams. And finally for the Mustangs, at guard, 5'9" senior, number 15, Emmy James. The head coach of the Grenadiers, Cindy Richardson. The head coach of the Mustangs, Mr. Tommy Butts, and his coaching staff, Keisha Brown Griffin, Latoya Russ, and George Spearman. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. Tonight's game is being streamed live on the NFHS network as well as YouTube. If you have friends and family who are not able to join us in person tonight and you'd like them to be able to join us digitally, make sure you send them a message right now. Let them know they can tune in. Go to Wekiva Sports on your favorite mobile device, computer, or smart TV. Just open up your YouTube app, search for Wekiva Sports. We're right there. We're also simulcasting on the NFHS network. Mustangs get the tip. Number 12, Bree Williams, puts the Mustangs on the board. Where's the switch? Hold on. Where's the switch to this thing? All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We barely got a chance to introduce ourselves thanks to the Mustangs' significant opening. And now we've got a steal here. Steal and a basket by Sofia Barreros. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, and I'm joined by Neil Fisher of the Apopka Chief to once again take you through now season 13 of Mustang basketball. Full timeout requested by the Mustangs. Okay, you're not on. Why are you not on? You're muted. That's why. Okay. Give it a try now.
Okay, hello everybody. Neil Fisher here. Again, as you can tell, we're having some working through some preseason activity here. Unfortunately, I was not able to be here last night, but listened to the game on the radio. Did an excellent job there, Mark, as always. And of course, as you mentioned several times, we are blessed with the opportunity to cover a defending state champion this year.
Yeah, absolutely, Neil, and we're looking forward to getting into the regular season. This is the second game of preseason action. The Mustangs took care of Timber Creek last night in a real thriller. Timber Creek, a very talented team. Coach Butts has no fear of lining up tough opponents early in the season, and that's just what he did. And the Mustangs rose to the challenge, but it was a narrow victory and a difficult contest. This promises to be the same. Colonial is a perennial powerhouse, and we expect great things from them this year as well.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Colonial and Timber Creek as far as I know, have always been in the same district since the FHSAA went to 9 classifications. Colonial is a program that's very much like Wekiva as far as the tangible results. Anything less than a deep run into the playoffs is considered a failure. So they've won multiple state championships themselves. And a bit of a rough start here really for both teams. A couple of turnovers. Looks like, again, very much the preseason there as McCarthy having some troubles getting a grip on the ball there.
Yeah, and Shadaria Smith has been a real standout for the Mustangs. Made her debut with Wekiva last night and ended up being the leading scorer.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, of course, Mayanna Garrett, number 3, is not participating in the preseason game. She's out for both of them due to an injury, and got a great step-up performance there by Smith. Smith, of course, she is a junior, was on the team last year. Did not see a lot of time, though. In her first opportunity to impress Coach Butts and the staff, she did exactly that.
Fabi Sanchez on the pass from Sofia Barreros. So the Grenadiers out to an early lead, 4-2. Still a lot of time. Mustangs trying to find their rhythm early here.
Yeah, Smith.
High pass.
Smith last night put up 22 points. Not one of those performances which was based on a lot of shots. She was actually 7 of 10 from the field. Wekiva was 12 of 17 at the free throw line. At 70%, of course, solid, but I'm sure Coach Butts would like a little bit higher percentage there. 34 rebounds as well. So a very typical Wekiva performance last night to carry into tonight.
30-second timeout is requested by the Grenadiers. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to live action here at Mustang Arena. Both teams having some early jitters. Good pass, but Zabinski not able to get it to go from under the basket. Rebound goes to the Mustangs. Bree Williams came back in during that timeout.
Wekiva opening up in a man-to-man, which is pretty much their staple on defense. Colonial, in the meantime, is going with a traditional 2-3 zone.
Foul is called against Mustangs number 42, Erica Simmons, her first, and the team's first.
So again, if you're not familiar with Wekiva's program, it's a very up-tempo, very progressive when it comes to the up-tempo feel and style Coach Butts employs here. They pretty much believe in the best offense is a good defense philosophy. They want to create turnovers and get that ball up the court ASAP.
James tries to get up the paint, not there. Passes to Simmons, can't get it to go, but gets her own rebound. The Mustangs will get another shot at this possession.
And rebounding has always been a staple of Wekiva's philosophy as well. You just saw that there.
Bree Williams for 3 from Shania McCarthy.
And that was very reminiscent of last year in the state championship final. Wekiva was down by a tray in the closing seconds. They got 2 offensive rebounds on the last possession. Second opportunity they made good on the tray.
Zabinski to Perez for 2.
So a seesaw game here, 5 lead changes already.
Rebound for Zabinski after the 3 won't fall for James. We'll go to the other side.
Wekiva is a very balanced team in the 3 and 2 points, about 50-50 for both. Now Wekiva remaining in the man-to-man here. Colonial having some trouble really getting the ball inside, relying right now on the perimeter passing. And there we go with some inside move. Good defense.
I get it to go. An easy rebound for Erica Simmons.
That's some good interior defense there. They closed the gap really quickly and forced an off-balance shot there.
Emmy James is wide right on the three from the corner. Rebound goes to Jones. She goes coast to coast and is going to get a charge called against her. Offensive charge called against Soraya Jones, taken by Erica Simmons. That's Jones' first personal foul and the team's first.
And there you see the defense that I was speaking about a couple minutes ago. It's not just a pressure defense, a very fluidic defense as far as creating that pressure, but Wekiva also, especially with Simmons on the inside, can be very physical and close down those gaps when teams try to come into the middle with drives. So now Wekiva, again on offense, they like to move that ball a lot, and they go a lot of inside-outside action.
James nearly falls out of bounds after a hot pass came into her. Bree Williams, unusually wide left on that one, and that'll go out of bounds. Grenadiers will take over at their own baseline.
So again, certainly you can tell this is a preseason game, Mark. Both teams shooting, I would venture to say, below 40%.
They need to aim lower. Block.
Yeah, again, Williams, great defense there, getting in the way and taking the right angle there.
Yeah, and that was actually McClendon that got that block there. Now we're going to get a foul at the other end. You said? She must have snuck in the game when I wasn't looking.
So, as you mentioned, McClendon with that block. She is actually only a sophomore.
Madeline Tizzy at the line shooting 2 after being fouled by Kayla Perez, her first, the team's second.
And one of the reasons that Wekiva has a string now, 6 consecutive years, of not just making the playoffs, but making deep runs into the playoffs, 5 state Final Four appearances, is you need to have what I call the line of succession. That's you need freshman or sophomore to step up when the seniors graduate the following year.
Tizzy hits her second free throw.
Of course.
That ties up the game.
Of course, last year.
Milan Santos down the paint for the layup.
Of course, last year we had Madeline Tuzay and Shania McCarthy, who saw a lot of time as freshmen. This year it's Smith and McClendon who are taking those.
Madeline Tuzay on the pass from Amanda McClendon.
So now we've gone about 3 possessions for each team where it looks like they're starting to find their footing, Mark.
Hold is called against number 4, Shadaria Smith, her first, the team's second.
So 2 fouls for both teams here with 1.5 minutes left, a little bit under actually.
Aya Brown on the inbound from Camilla Zavinsky.
So again, another lead change. We've gone from a very preseason looking game to, well, what you expect to see towards the end of the regular season. Both these offenses have the last 3-4 possessions moved the ball very fluidically using inside-outside movement. And of course, as soon as I laud them for that, we get a turnover.
Mustangs will get away with that. Foul is called against number 21, Brielle Marlowe. That's her first personal foul, the team's third. The last basket for which team?
So now Shania McCarthy coming back in for McClendon. McClendon with a strong 3 to 4 minutes here, and that's exactly what Coach Butts is looking for from her. So now again, Colonial remaining in the 2-3 zone here, although they're playing a little bit more extended than traditionally.
And was this shooting? Yes, it was. I mean, James fouled on the attempt. Should go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against number 1, Soraya Jones, her second.
That was a totally drawn foul there by James. She dipped that shoulder there at the last minute to draw the contact. And she's at the line, so obviously effective.
Mustangs catch a break here as Colonial touch to going out of bounds. So they'll get 1 out of 2 free throws and another possession.
28.9 seconds left here, Mark. Opportunity for Wekiva to extend to the biggest lead. Biggest lead so far has been 2 points. They'll also gain some momentum here going into the second quarter.
Basket by Madeline Tizia is good. She'll be at the line shooting for the 3-point play. The foul is called against Nia Brown, her first, and the team's 5th.
So, Mark, we don't just get some points here. We get the best possible situation.
Yeah, 3-point play opportunity coming up here. But it won't go. Rebound to Marlowe. Mustangs up by 1. And again, between Timber Creek and Colonial, Tommy Butts has picked 2 of the toughest competitors in the Central Florida area to get his team ready for the regular season. Here's Anaya Brown, spins for a layup for 2. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. And it's a 1-point ball game. The Grenadiers on top 12-11 at the end of 8 minutes. We'll be right back.
So as we get ready to start this second period, Mark, and a 12-11 Timber Creek lead, a bit of an oddity looking at the statistics.
Foul is called against Mustangs number 23, Stephanie White, her first, and the team's 3rd. At the line shooting 2, Anaya Brown.
So Colonial shooting 5 of 11 from the field, roughly 48%. Wekiva 4 of 12, 33%. Wekiva's gone 1 of 2 from the 3-point range. Colonial has yet to even attempt a 3-pointer. Rebounds are 7-5 in favor of Colonial, 7 defensive, none offensive. And Wekiva has really made up that deficit with the free throws, going 2 of 5 from the line. Colonial has yet to even go to the free throw lines, and turnovers are 4 for Wekiva and 1 for Colonial. So when you look at those statistics there, you would think that Colonial would have a bigger lead than 1 point here. So now Colonial comes out here at the start of the second quarter running a 1-4 offensive set.
Mustang foul called against Taria Smith, her first, the team's fourth. And here you're seeing some Mustangs that we did not see in the first quarter, Smith being one of them. Stephanie White also appears for the first time here in the second quarter.
Well, contact there in the paint.
Yep, White got a hand on it, but it's going to stay with the Grenadiers at the opposing baseline. Checking into the game for the Grenadiers, number 44, Shayla Sandiford.
So Wekiva's remaining in the man-to-man. And again, we will talk about this not only through the course of tonight's game, but the season. This is pretty much Wekiva's bread and butter. They play man-to-man defense, want to get force an up-tempo pace. So, and there you see why.
Yep, Simmons gets the rebound there after Perez can't get the jumper to go.
Even though that shot was taken.
Smith loses the ball to a steal by Kayla Perez. Goes out to Santos. Wild shot from the outside, no good. And we're going to get a held ball on the inbound. Held ball, possession, Mustangs.
So that was the fifth turnover there by Wekiva. We're only a minute into the second quarter. And Colonial remaining in a 1-2-2 and pays dividends here with the turnover.
Yep, Santos on the steal, can't get the layup to go. Putback won't go either. Anaya Brown is fouled on the putback attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two for the Grenadiers. The Mustangs foul is called against number 10, Tyria Smith. That's her second personal foul and the team's fifth.
So 2 turnovers and 3 possessions here, a minute and a half into the second quarter.
And the Mustangs currently are getting lucky that Colonial has been cold at the free throw line so far tonight.
Well, actually, Mark, those are the first two free throws of the night for Colonial.
Pass to Smith, goes back to Simmons at the top of the key. Jumper won't go. And Mustangs tried to dribble on the rebound. That turned out to be a mistake. And Brown comes up with it on the jump ball. Held ball possession, Grenadiers. Checking into the game for Colonial, number 12, Fabiana Sanchez.
And of course, Simmons is inside player. She has been the main force inside. They're expected to be the main force inside this year. Wekiva had 3 players who pretty much manned that inside last season. 2 of them graduated. But she's also been working on expanding her repertoire, as you saw in that last possession, taking the field goal attempt from the top of the key.
Milan Santos down the baseline for the Grenadier bucket.
So now Colonial is in the last, pretty much the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the second quarter, taking a page out of Wekiva's playbook. They've been really moving the ball up-tempo, getting that fast pace, and that's allowed them to get, I believe, all their shots have been from straight underneath the basket in the paint.
Shania McCarthy draws the foul on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Grenadiers number 11, Milan Santos. That's her first personal foul, and the team's 6th.
So this will be the 6th and 7th free throw by Wekiva here in this game.
Checking into the game for the Grenadiers, Brielle Marlowe.
And again, only 2 of 5 in that first quarter, and right now we have a 4-point differential. Wekiva's missed 4 free throws.
Well, add one more to that, but a putback is not going to go either for Simmons. Shania McCarthy fouled once again. She'll get 2 more at the charity stripe. This time the foul is called against number 21, Brielle Marlowe, her second personal foul, and the team's 7th.
So some strong inside rebounding there on that particular possession.
Yep, and that also means that the Mustangs are going to enjoy bonus in their favor for the rest of the half. Of course, it's no good if they can't get any of the free throws to go.
And now 2 of 8 at the line. 5:43 remaining in this first half, Mark.
Double whiff again at the charity stripe. Mustangs leaving some points on the board there. And they could badly use them, trailing 4 as we get to just about approaching the midpoint of the second quarter. Fabiana Sanchez gets the basket and a chance to make it a 3-point play. Bree Williams is called on her first personal foul.
Got that spin move there from Sanchez, which froze Williams. Really forced Williams into a situation where she had to lunge at the ball.
Three-point play won't go, and the rebound goes to Erica Simmons.
So neither team shooting the ball well here at the charity stripe early. Got some great offensive rebounding continuing there. Strong inside position.
Second chance basket by Tyria Smith. Traveling Mustangs ball. Checking into the game for the Grenadiers, number 1, Soraya Jones.
So that turnover is only the second of the game for Colonial. And again, that's been a key indicator of their success.
Push is called against number 23, Alyssa Saavedra. That's her first personal foul, the team's 8th, and it puts the Mustangs into bonus at the line, shooting 1-1, Emmy James.
And of course, you mentioned, Mark, on the last possession, Wekiva is going to go to the line every time a foul is committed. The rest of this half. And the woes continue at that free throw line. 2 of 10 now. So again, a bit of a breather here now, Mark. We've seen a lot of fast-paced, intense play. Can't say it's always been the smoothest. Definitely looking like a preseason game during several stretches. Of course, we'll talk more about this as the season rolls on. But James recently signed her college intention papers.
Annie James picks up a jumper for the Mustangs.
A much-needed field goal there. James, the senior, taking charge of the situation.
Hand check is called against number 10, Tyria Smith. That's her third personal foul, the team's 7th. Who's shooting?
And so, Mark, both teams will be going to the free throw line the rest of the way. 4:15 still left.
Make the other one, Sophia.
Is my score good?
We have not seen that at the free throw line very much tonight. Very smooth, confident strokes there.
Watch
Erica Simmons from Emmy James.
So we just saw what Simmons is known for there, getting that inside position. Excellent pass from James, as you just mentioned. Quick pass, no hesitation, and led Simmons into the basket.
Saavedra can't get the three to go.
And
Simmons comes down to the Mustangs.
Simmons now showing her defensive prowess there. Again, getting excellent position. And, well, that was a charge. Textbook definition of an offensive charge there.
Emmy James is called with an offensive charge taken by Milan Santos. That's her first personal foul, the team's 8th. No bonus shots on offensive fouls, but it turns the ball over to the Grenadiers.
And that was a tough charge to take there. Got contact, but again, very obvious charge. James threw her arm out and lowered the shoulder. So Wekiva remaining in man-to-man as we approach the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. Good passing here by Colonial, getting the ball inside-outside.
3 won't go. Struggle for the rebound, and it ultimately goes to Sandiford.
The Colonial did not give up on that shot, kept on that rebound, kept chasing it. Wekiva got a couple of fingers on it, but was not able to corral it.
Anaya Brown is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Grenadiers. The Mustang foul called against number 10, Tyria Smith. That's her 4th personal foul, and the team's 9th.
Come on, Anaya, make them count. Yes.
So now, Mark, Colonial will be in the double bonus the rest of the way. 2 minutes, 37 seconds to go here.
Amanda McClendon back into the game for the Mustangs.
So now as Wekiva gets ready to inbound this ball and 2:37 left in the first half, we have yet to see any type of full court defense or really even half court defense from either team. A bit of a surprise given their philosophy and style.
Madeline Tuzet comes back into the game for the Mustangs. Offensive charge called against Shadaria Smith, her 2nd, the team's 10th. No bonus shots on offensive fouls, but it turns the ball over to the Grenadiers.
Second time in 3 possessions, an offensive charge been called on Wekiva.
Milan Santos for 3 from Camilla Zabinski.
So Wekiva fell asleep there on defense, did not rotate over to the weak side, and they paid.
Answered with a 3 from Shadaria Smith. The pass by Emmy James.
And Smith answers. Same thing on the offensive end. On the other end there, failure to rotate to the weak side, and you got an open shooter who's lethal from 3-point range.
Erica Simmons into the game for the Mustangs. Under 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Mark, again, so far we've seen a game very typical of a preseason. We've seen some stretches where Wekiva and Colonial both look like they're playing preseason. And then we've seen some stretches where they really look like it's the end of the regular season. Very smooth, fluidic movement of the ball, creating an up-tempo pace. Of course, we mentioned at the beginning of this period, Wekiva with 4 of 12 from field goals, 33%, and they've relatively shot the same here in the second quarter. Missing 2 out of every 3 shots. They missed 2 on that possession.
And the rebound occurs all the way in the backcourt. Held ball possession Grenadiers. Checking into the game for Colonial, Sofia Barrero.
And we've also had a number of jump balls here too in this first half.
Yeah, that's something you see a lot of at the varsity level, but it does happen, particularly early in the preseason.
So, oh.
Barrero to Zabinski for a reverse layup.
McClendon getting taken to school there certainly looked like a player who's playing for the first time at the varsity level. She got spun around on that movement at the paint.
Foul is called against number 15, Sofia Barrero. That's her first personal foul, the team's 9th, and it will send Smith to the line.
So as we've mentioned throughout this first half, Mark, Wekiva is certainly getting to the line, which is a staple of their school of thought and how they like to play, but they have not yet been able to take advantage of getting to the line, shooting less than 20% before that last shot.
Illegal inbound, Mustangs ball. So that's just what the doctor ordered for the Mustangs. 3 for 3 at the line for Smith, and then an inbounding error will give the Mustangs back the ball and an opportunity to even this ball game to head into the locker rooms.
Yeah, Mark, you're hoping to get a couple free throws here, and that's extended to 5 points now.
Putback made by Amanda McClendon to tie the game.
So there McClendon shows her potential and the level of talent she has.
Out of bounds, Mustangs ball. And another boon for the Mustangs here.
Isn't it 25 all? So Colonial has led for most of this first half. I believe we were only about a minute in when they took the lead. They got all the way up to a 5-point lead, and just like that, Wekiva's threatening to take the lead. 5-0 run here as the last seconds of the first half drain away.
Nice block there by Amanda McClendon, as one good block deserves another. Checking it back into the game for the Grenadiers, Camilla Zabinski.
So, Mark, certainly, as I mentioned before, we're seeing both ends of McClendon's game here, showing some inexperience and mistakes, but the potential of her talent.
Another good block by McClendon, and Smith takes the rebound. Mustang's going to get the last word of the half here, and it's short.
Got some big-time pace here picking up.
That takes us to the end of the first half, and we will end the first half the same way we started it, with a tie ball game. 25-25 is the score in a thrilling preseason contest, game 3 out of 4. We'll be back after a 10-minute break. And we'll be back with you on the broadcast when we return from our halftime. I switched it over. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here along with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief to take you through the second half of a real thrilling contest.
Yeah, Mark, certainly a very back and forth contest there in that first period, first half. Ended pretty much the same way for both teams. Colonial scoring 6 in a row to take a 5-point lead. They scored 5 in a row, breaking a tie. And you had 25-20, and then Wekiva scoring 5 in a row. One of the key stats, or the key stat, was the fact that Colonial had only 1 turnover until that last minute or so when they held the 25-20 lead.
Offensive foul called against Kayla Perez, her second, the team's first.
And then, of course, they turned the ball over 3 times in that last minute, which allowed Wekiva to get 3 field goal attempts, which they turned into the 5 points.
Number 15, Emmy James, is called on the offensive charge, her second, the team's first. That was taken by Kayla Perez, and turns the ball over to the Grenadiers.
So both teams turning the ball over here on their first possession of the second half.
Yeah, and really evenly distributed scoring. When we went through the halftime stats, no individual players standing out as running away with all the points. Both sides have a very balanced effort. No player scored more than 7 points total, contributing to the 25 going into the locker rooms.
And looking at the stats here, Colonial was actually 5 of 11 from the field in the first quarter. They wound up 10 of 23 at halftime, so definitely defensive pressure from Wekiva.
Sophia Barrero fouled on the attempt. Is that 4? Is that 5 on 4? No. Okay. Okay, 3 on 4. Never mind, we're good.
So, again, Colonial was shooting just under 50%. They're 5 of 11 in the first quarter. They wind up under 50% in the second half, 10 of 23. Under 40%, 10 of 23. 9 of 19 from two-point land, 1 of 4 from behind the arc. And Wekiva catches a break there as both the free throws are erroneous. Wekiva, on the other hand, has not shot well during the whole game. Definitely looking like this is the preseason, 9 of 25 total. The one big difference, though, I would point out,
Shania McCarthy is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 1, Soraya Jones. It's her third personal foul, the team's second this half.
Wekiva, to the point I was getting ready to make there, was that Wekiva has actually taken 9 attempts from behind the arc compared to only 4 for Colonial. So, again, they have not been very successful, converting only 2 of them. But nonetheless, have certainly at least put themselves in the position, given themselves the opportunity to be able to shoot more trays.
McCarthy hits her first of 2. Opportunity to take the lead here.
And rebounds were 22 to 15 in favor of Wekiva. So certainly Wekiva has the advantage there. They also took 4 more free throw attempts, 5 of 13 compared to 4 of 9 for Colonial. Colonial won the turnover battle, though, turning the ball only 5 times compared to 10 for Wekiva.
Jones, jumper. Soraya Jones picks up 2 for the Grenadiers. And so the Grenadiers retake the lead. We'll wait a moment for the ball to be located.
And that lead that Wekiva did hold there before the tray from Colonial was their first since about a minute into the ball game.
Williams tries to get into the key and gets the ball taken away from her. Sophia Barrero coast to coast to seal 2 for the Grenadiers.
And a page out of Wekiva's playbook there, turnover on the defensive end, turn it into a field goal. On the other end, quick pace up the court, get a couple passes as well during that quick pace, and you get the defense, which in this case was Wekiva, out of position.
Long pass opportunity, but it's mishandled, and she is not going to turn it over.
So 5 turnovers here in the first 2.5 minutes.
Shadaria Smith, coast to coast for 2.
Who scored that?
Kayla Perez behind the arc for 3.
So both teams started off the game turning the ball over, and now in the last couple of possessions, we've seen some smooth, efficient passing, which is leading to equally smooth and efficient field goal shooting.
Offensive charge is called against number 22, Shania McCarthy.
So just bear with us. Again, this is a preseason for us too. Just had some technical difficulty there. Strong offensive rebound there for Colonial, set up by getting proper positioning, getting the shoulders squared up against the backboard. Saw that twice now.
A lot of offensive rebounds.
3 to be
now
exact.
Finally, the Mustangs come up with it.
3 offensive rebounds on that last possession by Colonial.
Emmy James on a Mustang jump shot.
And there's an example of you need to take advantage of your opportunities. They missed 3 field goals. Wekiva comes back on the other end with a quick deuce from James. Now Colonial slowing the play down. Wekiva, as they have throughout the first half, remaining in man-to-man defense.
Grenadiers somewhat slowing the pace down here.
And we're going to get a timeout here, Mark.
Full timeout is requested by Colonial. Grenadiers call timeout. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. We are just over halfway through the third quarter in a back-and-forth contest. Lots of lead changes taking place. And right now, the Grenadiers on top by 2, 33-31. A frenetic game that certainly is showing some preseason jitters. The Mustangs, the defending state champions. Colonial, always a perennial powerhouse. Going to try to get something off of the inbound here. And it just won't go for Brown. The rebound is going to go to the Mustangs, who snuck in Tyria Smith when we weren't looking during the timeout.
Last offensive possession there, the inbound pass. Good idea, good decision, but just couldn't quite execute it. Wekiva's defense played that inbound pass very well.
Who is it on? Block is called against Kayla Perez. That's her third personal foul, the team's third, and Shadaria Smith will shoot 2.
So during this preseason, as we mentioned in the first half, Mark, Wekiva's down a couple of players, a couple of key players to their championship run.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome and encourage you to take all the pictures and video you like. We do, however, ask that you please disable any flashes or video lighting.
And in that situation, you need some other players to step up, and Smith has done so. She dropped in 22 last night. She has over 10 tonight, double digits, and you're really seeing that line of succession continue.
Anaya Brown is fouled on the putback attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two. The Mustang foul is called against number 23, Stephanie White. That is her second personal foul, and it's the team's fourth.
So a nice stroke there. Both free throws good, and leads back up to 3 points now. Some poor ball handling there, a couple bad decisions.
Mustangs bringing on the pressure in the backcourt, though.
The first time tonight we've seen Wekiva make any attempt at a full court defensive stand. They've been content all night to retreat back to the defensive end every time the ball changes hands.
Erica Simmons on the pass from Emmy James. So a bit of a melee there with a lot of unintended action. That's called winging it. That was not a designed play by anybody.
A lot of action, but not much in the way of results.
Now, well, the Mustangs do manage to close the gap back to one. Mustang foul is called against number 4, Shadaria Smith. That's her fourth personal foul, the team's fifth. And that will send Anaya Brown to the line to shoot two for the Grenadiers. So the Mustangs now have 4 fouls on 2 different players, Shadaria Smith and Tyria Smith.
Yeah, and with those 4 fouls, Smith now has to take a seat on the bench. As we mentioned, she's our leading scorer, so key moment in the ball game. And we now have another tie.
A steal. Milan Santos coast to coast to steal 2 for the Grenadiers.
Some hard-nosed basketball there. That steal and the resulting 2 points was just simply determination.
Smith can't get the 3 to fall. Good offensive rebound, and it is going to be a 3-point play.
Wow.
Madeline Tuzzi gets the basket and a chance to make it a 3-point play. The foul is called against number 21, Brielle Marlowe. That's her 3rd personal foul, the team's 4th.
So Tuzzi was one of the freshmen who were key components, along with Shania McCarthy last year, in the run to the state championship. Now, of course, she's a sophomore, put a little bit more weight and height on, along with muscle.
Block shot. Nice work there.
All hands on deck.
Thirty-second timeout requested by the Grenadiers. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Coach Richardson spending one of her timeouts there. Thinks it is worth it to maximize the chances of going into the fourth quarter with the lead. Does not pay off, though, as the three won't fall for Barrero. 2Z gets the rebound.
James with a strong rebound again, getting the right position, timing correct too, going over the top at the right moment, the Colonial players.
And James is going to let this one go out of bounds. Checking into the game for Colonial, number 12, Bobby Sanchez.
So that was a big opportunity there for Wekiva. Had an opportunity to extend the lead to at least 3 points for the first time tonight. Gained some momentum here heading into the fourth and final quarter. So 5 turnovers in this half, which is what they had in 2 previous quarters.
Sophia Barrero for 3 at the buzzer on the pass from Milan Santos, and that will give the Grenadiers a 2-point lead going into the fourth quarter. 41-39 is the score. It's going to be a photo finish here in Game 3 of the 2019 Wekiva Preseason Classic. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena for the last 8 minutes of preseason action for these two teams.
So as we begin the fourth quarter here, Mark, storylines really have not changed. Neither team has shot the ball well, and that's exactly how this quarter starts. 3 consecutive.
Fast break opportunity does not come out for the Grenadiers.
3 consecutive missed field goals.
Good pass inside, and it's in. Madeline Tuzi on an inside pass from Emmy James.
So Tuzi is exerting her presence now, getting a couple of buckets there at the end of the third quarter, a rebound, and now she has put the points that have tied the ball game.
Aya Brown gets the basket and a chance to make it a 3-point play. The foul is called against number 24, Madeline Tuzi. That's her first personal foul. And the team's 6th.
So some strength used there in getting that rebound, and getting that field goal, excuse me.
That gives the Grenadiers a 3-point advantage. McCarthy's 3 won't go. Pressure coming on Sanchez as she goes to the hole. Block shot. That's a lot of block. I think that's the third block I've counted.
Yeah, likewise, Mark.
Tonight.
Likewise, Mark.
Foul is called against Amanda McClendon. That's her first personal foul, the team's 7th, and that will send number 33, Kayla Perez, to the line.
So a very fast start, fast pace to this fourth quarter here. And I mentioned again, field goal shooting has not been particularly good. 15 of 38 for Colonial, 14 of 34 for Wekiva through 2. Now both field goals are good, and what was the largest lead of the game has been matched. Wekiva getting sloppy here at the start of the fourth quarter. Several mistakes, self-created mistakes, namely turnovers. And that's really been Wekiva's bugaboo. Despite the poor field goal shooting, you can live with poor field goal shooting if you're rebounding and taking care of the ball. And there's a travel, an obvious travel.
Traveling Mustangs ball, returning to the game for Wekiva, number 15, Emmy James.
So 16 turnovers for Wekiva. That's about 5 each quarter, only 8 for Colonial.
Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Erica Simmons.
So through almost 2 games, Mark, Wekiva has shown an ability to be able to stay close and be able to score the winning, let's say 2 or 3 buckets, but they've yet to show if they can come from behind a larger deficit. Again, 5 right now is tied for the largest, not only during this game, but during the preseason. So you want
nice pass to the inside, and it's blocked.
You want to be
no good either.
You want to be careful here and not allow that lead to get past 5 or 7. Strong offensive rebounding there. Wekiva has done that very well throughout this ball game. They have 10 through the first 3 quarters.
Foul is called against number 44, Shayla Sandiford. That's her first personal foul. And it's the team's 5th. At the line shooting 2, Shania McCarthy.
So Wekiva gets to the line there with that pass from the corner from James. Again, put it right where it needed to be in McCarthy's hands. She caught it leading to the outside and then spun back. And when she spun back towards the basket, that drew the contact from the Colonial defense as they were moving in the opposite direction and had to re-change that direction.
So McCarthy goes 1 for 2 at the line, cutting it to a 4-point game. Trying to score in transition on the other side. That's not going to work. And Emmy James gets the rebound. She'll try a jumper, and she's got it. Emmy James for 2.
They say stop, pop, and drop.
That'll work, and the Mustangs cut it to a 1-possession ball game.
Yeah, Colonial let James open.
Santos too hot on the layup. Simmons on the rebound, trying to get something done in transition. Madeline Tuesday is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Shayla Sandiford. That's now her 2nd personal foul, and it's the team's 6th. So that means both teams will be shooting 1-on-1 bonus for the rest of the ball game.
Yeah, 4:17 left. And entering this third quarter, Wekiva was only 9 of 18. We've talked about their woes at the line.
Zabinski back in for the Grenadiers. Opportunity to tie with this free throw. And it's going to be a violation against Wekiva.
So unfortunately for Wekiva, Mark, another opportunity going by the wayside as far as free throw is concerned. And again, Wekiva's played man-to-man throughout the game. Quick push there.
Smith gets the rebound, tries to score in transition, and Erica Simmons gets run over. Foul is called against number 33, Kayla Perez. That's her 4th personal foul. And the team's 7th at the line, shooting for the Mustangs. 1-and-1 bonus, Erica Simmons. So they are going to say that was prior to the shooting action, so she will not get 2 guaranteed free throws. She will have to earn the second one. And she does.
Nice touch there, getting that rotation at the top of the arc.
Simmons ties the game for the Mustangs, has an opportunity to take the lead. And it's short. So we end up the same place we were, and a steal by Smith.
Excellent job. Timed it right. Got her hands.
Oh, and a bad pass. Milan Santos picks off McCarthy, who fumbles the ball as it's thrown to her by Smith, and the Mustangs again have frittered away an opportunity to take the lead. Block is called against number 42, Erica Simmons. That's her 2nd personal foul, the team's 8th, and Sofia Barrero will shoot 2.
Yeah, so, Mark, if we were playing poker, we would have a good shot of winning with a full hand. Got 3 minutes, 33 seconds left, and a pair of 46s on the scoreboard.
Anaya Brown returns for the Grenadiers. Oh for 2.
Huge break. Those 2 missed free throws for Wekiva. And now we're seeing for the first time tonight, either team, they're going to full court defense here. Not really any type of heavy pressure intended, as 2 of the 3 players back off as soon as the ball was inbounded.
Erica Simmons draws the foul, which is called against number 5, Anaya Brown. That's her 2nd personal foul. The team's 8th. And that was a shooting action, so Simmons will shoot 2.
Opportunity for Wekiva to take the lead. Be only their 3rd lead of the game.
First is short and bounces out. Checking into the game for the Grenadiers, Soraya Jones.
3 minutes, 19 seconds left here, Mark.
And there's the lead that the Mustangs have been coveting for so long. The Mustangs will request a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mustangs up by 1. They take a 30-second timeout there to sort things out. Barrero misses the 3. And it's going to go out of bounds off of Wekiva.
So, and that was the first time we've seen any type of full court defense from Wekiva, going to full court man-to-man there.
Anaya Brown back in.
Exactly 3 minutes left in this ball game. Biggest lead that we've had all night has been 5 points. Wekiva remaining in man-to-man, as they have played throughout the whole game.
Tough pass. And the Grenadiers just, oh no. That's too bad that she's going to get charged with a turnover for that, because that was a good effort. Traveling Mustangs ball. That wasn't her fault. It's going to go against her stats, though. Bree Williams back in for Wekiva.
Well, Wekiva played excellent defense there, cutting off those lanes. It's one thing to be able to understand the passing lanes around the perimeter, but to be able to call off the angles down under the basket, force the team really into no man's land, catching that ball on the backside of the basket.
Smith gets picked off by Soraya Jones. Not able to make anything happen in transition. The Grenadiers will set up the play. There's another minute gone since the timeout with no action on either side. The three is too hot from Santos. And we're going to get an offensive foul call. Is that 30? That's 5. Foul is called against number 33, Kayla Perez. That's her 5th personal foul. She'll retire from the game with 7 points and 6 rebounds, and the Mustangs take a full timeout. Number 33 is disqualified. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Now in the closing 2 minutes, Mustangs spend the time out there. And a turn of luck in the Mustangs' way as the shot misses. And meanwhile, that fouled out Kayla Perez, who is the 3rd leading scorer for the Grenadiers tonight. Mustangs are going to take their time here to set up the play.
Yeah, and Perez has been running a lot of interference to allow the shooters to be able to get open shots. So not just important tangibly.
Williams to the key, and it's to the right of the mark. She gets her own rebound, though.
2 offensive rebounds.
And if we had a shot clock, that would have reset it. Not that it really matters. Last 60 seconds. Oh, zigged when she should have zagged. And Emmy James throws it out of bounds. She was expecting Williams to come back to the right, went to the left instead, and now the Grenadiers have an opportunity to flip the tables. Anaya Brown is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two. The foul is called against Erica Simmons. That's her third, and the team's ninth.
24 or 42?
So both teams shooting 50% heading into this final quarter.
And so Brown misses her first. That means the best she can do is tie.
With 51.2 seconds left here, Mark.
And she does get the second to fall, so now it's a tie ball game. And a 32-minute game has now been reduced to 45 seconds.
Guerrero's going one-on-one here with
James up the key, gets the foul, does not get the basket. Emmy James is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two for the Mustangs. The foul is called against number 15, Sophia Barrero. That's her second personal foul and the team's 10th.
So as she entered the lane there at the top left corner, James dipped the shoulder, gave Guerrero's a little bit of an indication to the left, and that's how she got her to be able to get to the inside.
So critical free throws. Both teams have struggled at the charity stripe tonight.
Yeah, again, both teams were shooting 50% entering this fourth quarter.
And
So as we come back, Mark, heard Coach Butson, that idea here is exactly what you just saw there. Try to front Colonial at the free throw line, congest them at that area.
Barrero is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two. Coach Richardson going to take this as a free timeout. Foul called against Erica Simmons, her fourth.
And again, as we've mentioned, Mark, several times here in the last couple minutes, neither team shooting the ball well. 50% entering the third quarter, or the fourth quarter. Sending Guerreros to the line here might not be such a bad idea. So the good news now is Wekiva can take the final shot here.
Oh, actually, they're going to get to go to the line. Hold on us. Foul is called against number 15, Sophia Barrero. That's her third personal foul. And it puts the Mustangs into double bonus. Bree Williams will shoot two.
So we're now in a free throw shooting contest.
Yeah, I don't know that that was a deliberate action there. Yeah, and it rolls out. Boy, Neil, we don't expect to get our heart rate up this much this early in the season.
Preseason is not. The preseason does not happen for that reason. So 1-2, and here we go. Ten seconds, gotta get the ball up, and they're not going to.
Basket by Sophia Barrero and a steal, and then we'll pause for a full timeout called by the Grenadiers. That's their final timeout. And with 3.7 seconds left, we'll take a quick break and be back for the last 4 seconds.
So if you're Wekiva here, you need to go for the quick steal off the pass. If you don't get it, got to foul right away.
Milan Santos will go to the line and shoot double bonus. Foul is called against Shadaria Smith. That's her 5th personal foul. And she'll retire from the game with 9 points and 4 rebounds for the Mustangs.
So Wekiva played that exactly the way you're supposed to. Only 0.6 of a second coming off the clock. And wow, Wekiva gave Colonial a break the last time they were at the line, missing the first of the 2 free throws. Colonial returns to the favor. So that certainly leaves the door open for Wekiva, the missed free throw.
And that takes us to the end of the ball game. It was a thriller, but the Grenadiers come up with a victory tonight. 52-50 is the final score in an incredible preseason contest. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out to support your Mustang and Grenadier athletes. Tonight, your final stats: Colonial had 3 players in double figures. Anaya Brown, 11 points, 5 rebounds. Milan Santos, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Sophia Barrero, 14 points and 2 assists. For the Mustangs, Madeline Tuzi led the Mustangs with 11 points and 3 rebounds. 9 each on the board for Emmy James and Shadaria Smith. They also each had 4 assists. For those of you who are joining us online, please note that the second game is on a different webcast than the first game. So you will have to exit out of this webcast and then find the next one, where we will join you in just about 15 minutes. We hope to see you there.